Hello, I am from International Scientific Research and Publications. In this video, I am going to explain you how to write a literature review. This video is a complete guide for writing a literature review. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. So let's get started. So let's know what is a literature review. A literature review is a survey of scholarly sources on a specific topic. It provides an overview of current knowledge, allowing you to identify relevant theories, methods, and gaps in the existing research. A good literature review does not summarize sources, it analyzes, synthesizes, and critically evaluates to give a clear picture of the state of knowledge on the subject. So, let's know the purpose of writing a literature review. When you write a thesis, dissertation, or a research paper, you will likely have to conduct a literature review to situate your research with existing knowledge. The literature review gives you a chance to demonstrate your familiarity with a topic and its scholarly content, and which will help you to develop a theoretical framework and methodology for your research. Position your work in relation to other researchers and theorists. Show how your research addresses and a gap or contributes to a debate. Evaluate the current state of research and demonstrate your knowledge of the scholarly debates around the topic. I will show you some examples of literature review which will help you to write your own. Example, literature review 1. Let's see the first review. Why do people migrate? A review of the theoretical literature. Theoretical literature review about the development of economic migration theory from 1915s to today. So, let's see the second example. Literature review as a research methodology. This is an overview and guidelines. This is a methodological literature review about interdisciplinary knowledge acquisition and production. Let's see the third one. The use of technology in English language learning. A literature review. Which is a literature review? This is a thematic literature review about the effects of technology on language. And the fourth one, last one. Listeners' listening comprehension difficulties in English language learning. This is also a literature review. This is a chronological literature review about how the concept of listening skills has changed over the time. We will discuss in the last step, which is what is this chronological and methodology. These things we will discuss in the last step. So let's begin with the first step, which is you have to search for relevant literature. Before you begin searching for literature, you need a clearly defined topic. If you are writing the literature review section of a dissertation or a research paper, you will search for literature related to your research problem and questions. So, and you have to make a list of keywords. Start by creating a list of keywords related to your research question, which include each of the key concepts or variables you are interested in. And you have to list any synonyms and related terms. You can also add to this list as you discover new keywords in the process of your literature search. For example, let's take social media, Facebook. These are all you can able to add in the literature review so that it can be a keyword. And you have to search for relevant sources. Use your keywords to begin searching for sources. Some useful databases to search for journals and articles include your university library catalog, Google Scholar, JST Chester, EBSCO, Project Muse, Medline, Econlet, Inspect. You can also use Boolean operators to help narrow down your search. Make sure to read the abstract to find out whether the article is relevant to your question. When you find a useful book or article, you can check the bibliography to find out relevant sources. And step 2, you have to evaluate and select sources. You likely won't be able to read absolutely everything that has been written on your topic. So it will be necessary to evaluate which sources are more relevant to your research question. For each publication, ask yourself, what question or problem is the author addressing? What are the key concepts and how are they defined? What are the key theories, models and methods? Does the research use established framework or take an innovative approach? What are the results and conclusions of the study? How does the publication relate to other literature in the field? Does it confirm, add to or challenge established knowledge? What are the strengths and weaknesses of the research? Make sure that these resources are predictable, and make sure you read any landmark studies and major theories in your field of research. And the next thing is you have to take notes and cite your sources. As you read, you should also begin the writing process. Take notes that you can later incorporate into the text of your literature review. It is important to keep track of your sources with citations to avoid plagiarism. We had already discussed about these citations and plagiarisms in most of the videos. Please check it out. It can be helpful to make an annotated bibliography where you compile full citation information and write a paragraph of summary and analyze for each source. This helps you remember what you read and saves time later in the process. And the third step, you have to identify themes, debates and gaps. To begin organizing your literature review argument and structure, be sure you understand the connections and relations between the sources you read. Based on your reading and notes, you can look for trends, patterns, and you can do certain approaches become more or less popular over time. And we come under themes. What questions or concepts require across the literature? Debates, conflicts and contradictions. Where do sources disagree? Pivotal publications. Are there any influential theories or studies that changed the direction of the field? And the last thing is gaps, which is what is missing from the literature, or the weakness that need to be addressed. This step will help you to work out the structure of your literature review and, if applicable, show how your own research will contribute to existing knowledge. And the fourth step, which is outline of your literature review. So here we comes under the chronological, methodological and thematic, these things. So let's discuss about that. There are various approaches to organizing the body of a literature review. Depending on the length of your literature review, you can combine several of these strategies. For example, your overall structure might be thematic, but each theme is discussed chronologically. What is chronological? The simplest approach is to trace the development of the topic over time. However, if you choose this strategy, be careful to avoid simply listing and summarizing sources in order. Try to analyze patterns, turning points and key debates that have shaped the direction of the field. Give your interpretation of how and why certain developments occurred. Let's move on to the thematic. If you have found some recurring central themes, you can organize your literature review into subsections that address different aspects of your topic. For example, if you are reviewing literature about inequalities in migrant health outcomes, key themes might include healthcare policy, luggage barriers, cultural attributes, legal status and economic access. And let's move on to the methodological. If you draw your sources from different disciplines or fields that use a variety of research methods, you might want to compare the results and conclusions that emerge from different approaches. For example, look at what results have emerged in qualitative versus quantitative research. Discuss how the topic has been approached by empirical versus theoretical scholarship. Divide the lecture into sociological, historical and cultural sources. Let's move on to the theoretical. A literature review is often found in the foundation of theoretical framework. You can use it to discuss various theories, models and definitions of key concepts. You might argue for the relevance of specific theoretical approach or combine various theoretical concepts to create a framework for your research. Here is an example for writing your literature review. You have to start with the introduction and next to the body and the last thing, which is conclusion. Introduction. The introduction which should clearly establish the focus and purpose of the literature review. Here is a tip which will help you to write your introduction. Let's read it. If you are writing literature review as a part of your dissertation or thesis, reiterate your central problem or a research question and give a brief summary of the scholarly content. So you must give a brief summary of your topic or the content, and you can emphasize the timelines of your topic. So, or highlight a gap in the literature. Few researchers have taken why in the consideration. So, and next to the body. Depending on the length of your literature review, you might want to divide the body into subsections. So, according to the size of your review, you can able to divide the body into your own part. So, we can able to make it as subsections or subheadings. You can use subheading for each theme or each paragraph or a time period or methodological approach. So, here is the example. And the last thing, which is in conclusion. In conclusion, you have to summarize the key findings. So that key frames or keywords you have taken from the literature and emphasize their significance. And here is a tip. Be sure to show how your research addresses the gaps and contributes new knowledge. So you have to prove that what you are going to conclude and what you are going to do and what you had done. Discuss how you have drawn on existing theories and methods to build a framework for your research. Okay, I think this video will be helpful for you. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon.